My parents are first generation Americans. My dad's name is Rufus Ferguson. My mom's name is Stephanie Ferguson. Both of my grandparents came from the islands of the Bahamas. I had an African American experience, but a Caribbean American upbringing. My culture and my background, the food, the practices, the music, very Caribbean. The expectations in terms of education and academia, very, very Caribbean. The discipline, very Caribbean. My parents really believed in having I wouldn't call it strict, but people call it strict, but a very ordered household. Things were done a certain way, and there was an expectation for them to be done. My parents, when they spoke to me one time, it created a sense of urgency for excellence, if you will, to get the right things done right away. My mother used to say, if a task is once begun, never leave it till it's done. Be the labor great or small, do it well or not at all. And I was reared with excellence. My dad believed in it. My mom believed in it. There was a point in time where I was on the wrestling team. I can still remember it. We were getting ready for the county championships. I was in ninth grade, and the report cards came out, and I made 2 C's on my report card. My dad immediately pulled me off the wrestling team and told me, he said, "Hey man, go over to the light switch." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Go over to the light switch." He said, "When you flick it on and off, does it come on 70% of the time?" I said, "No." He said, "It comes on all the time." He said, "And that's what I expect." He said, "I expect for you to be on all the time in the classroom." And I was pulled off the wrestling team, and that was another experience in my life where my parents really showed me that athletics was secondary to academics. So during my childhood, I really got an understanding of what we call in mathematics the order of operations, how things are supposed to run. Academics first, sports second, and above all, of course, religion and family. In order to become an Olympian, you have to accept the life of excellence. And as I said before, my parents kind of reared me under the umbrella of excellence, under the umbrella of being outstanding. And if you look at outstanding and you look at the word in of itself and link it to the word outlier, you really have to be comfortable with being alone, comfortable with solitude, comfortable with the late night study habits, which also mirror the early morning runs. So if you look at the way that my parents reared me, did they raise me to be an Olympian? No. But the way that they raised me allowed me to become an Olympian, because I wasn't afraid to do things by myself. I wasn't afraid of being ridiculed for being alone. I wasn't afraid to get up early in the morning and do things by myself and study late. Those things I was not afraid to do. If you want to go to the Olympics, you have to get up at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. If you look at the military, if you look at successful people, if you look at CEOs, everybody who gets it done in life is up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's just a fact. And you don't know that when you're young, but when your parents push you to go to bed early and get up late, and they order your day and they give you structure, it creates a foundation for excellence. And when you want to go to the Olympics, 5 o'clock, 5:30 morning workouts, come back and eat. 12 o'clock film sessions, go eat again. I ate a lot. Then you go for evening practice, and then you come back, and then you eat again, and then you rest, and then you get in the ice bath, or you go for your massage appointments, and then you're back up in the morning. It is very, very rhythmic. It is very boring. But what a lot of people don't want to do, they don't want to do the arduous, boring work. They get caught in this, what I call a microwave society, where they want self-gratification. They think they can pop it in, hit the popcorn button, and then walk away, and everything is fine, and we got hot smelling popcorn, and we're done. And that's not how life is. Life requires work. Life requires practice. Life requires deliberate practice. Life requires repetition. 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 And repetition. And what I notice in life is that a lot of people don't want to do the repetition in order to become the best. And if you don't fill up that bucket, whatever it is, with the reps, you can't pull out the wins. What keeps me up at night is running out of time. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so much time in life. And you don't know when your number is going to be called. And I'm always concerned if I've given my kids the maximum that they need in life, that I maximize what I'm supposed to give them today. Did I tell my daughter that I loved her a lot today? Did I hug on my son? Did I love on my son enough today? Did I teach him the things that are necessary in order to be a good citizen in society? Did I take my daughter on enough daddy-daughter dates? Did I walk in the park with my son and teach him, what side of the sidewalk that he needs to walk on and how to treat a woman and pull out the chair? Like, I just wonder if I'm going to run out of time. Like, you want to see your kids graduate from college, you want to watch them get married, you want to watch them have kids, and you just want to make sure you don't run out of time. I mean, there's a quote by Benjamin Mays where he talks about God's minute. He says, I only have a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it. I must suffer if I lose it and give an account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. And there's an eternity in the minutes and the seconds and the hours that we spend, and the time that we have is so pregnant, and a lot of us don't take that time as being as important and pregnant as it is. And I do, and I understand how precious it is, and my fear is I'm just not going to be able to give everything that I have, not only to my kids but to the world. I have a passion for winning, a passion for success, but not a passion for winning at the sake of winning at all costs, but I have a passion for winning under the umbrella of excellence. Like, my decisions at some points are very black and white. If I have an article to write, the winning is getting the article written and in by the deadline, and losing is not doing it. And the question is, Rhadi Ferguson, did you win today? And winning begets winning, just like losing begets losing, because it's not about winning a thing or losing a thing. It's about, are you exercising winning behaviors? And what do those winning behaviors look like? Winning behaviors look like this: alarm clock rings, get up, don't hit the snooze, get yourself dressed, have your clothes laid out on the side, wash your face, brush your teeth, make your decaf coffee, decaf now, make your coffee, move throughout the day, get your task list done, run through your task list, make your personal calls, love on your children, talk to your friends, work out, go to bed, and repeat. If I get those things done during the day, I'm winning. When I deviate from that, I'm losing. And it doesn't have anything to do with a competition. It has to do with how you want to run and govern yourself in life. My biggest challenge that I face is dealing with losing. Because whether you want to accept it or not, losing is a part of life. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose time. You're going to lose opportunities. And some of the things you lose, you're not going to be able to get back. And when you are like hell bent on winning all the time, you get so caught up in winning that you don't recognize that losing is inevitable. And sometimes the same thing that make you good make you bad. And I read a book about 3 years ago that one of my friends gave me. It was called Good Self, Bad Self. It was basically written by the woman who they created the story Scandal from. They made the whole Olivia Pope character. And the book really spoke to me in terms of personal development and personal improvement. Because some of the things that make me great are also some of the things that make me not so great. And dealing with losing is something that I really don't do well with. And I think I try to super compensate by winning. And the competitive side of me is okay with not dealing with losing well. Because most people who like to win don't lose well. But the non-Olympian side, like the human side of Rhadi Ferguson, needs to do a better job with learning how to lose and bounce back from losing. Yeah, my greatest success, even though I really didn't have anything to do with it, they're really my kids. I have something to do with the rearing process, but the gift of children was gifted to me by God, I believe. And it is, I mean, I can't, every time I talk about my kids, I just get a huge smile on my face. One of the greatest successes is being a great father. From the athletic side, of course, going to the Olympics, but one of the massive achievements in my life, what people don't really know about me, was when I won the spelling bee in second grade. When I won the spelling bee in second grade, it actually changed my life as a little black kid in the South, in Miami, Florida, with two parents who came up through the civil rights movement, to understand that equality was a real thing, had to be something that was tangible for me. It couldn't be something magical. You know, my mom got hit with the water hose back in the day when she was protesting. My parents were in segregated schools, and then they went to integrated schools. I was in a school in South Florida where it was almost 85-90% white. And my second grade teacher, Miss Wilkes, had the opportunity as a black woman at the time to take this little black kid who won the spelling bee in the cafeteria and walk him to the office, in the principal's office, and call his black parents and say, "Mr. and Mrs. Ferguson, your son Rhadi has just won the spelling bee and is qualified for the state championships." It was absolutely phenomenal. It, as a young kid, it seemed like the world to me. It let me know that if I studied, if I trained, if I did the right things, then good things can happen for me. My mom used to force me to read when I was young. I was reading 8th and 9th grade books at the age of 5 years old. I mean, she used to force me to read. It was something. When I was in 7th and 8th grade and 9th grade, there were book reports in the summer, and you had to get a book report for allowance. Cleaning up was just something that you had to do. The book reports were necessary if you wanted to get paid in the house. And I didn't really understand it back then, but now sitting down, you know, and talking to you as someone who has a PhD in education and has a Master of Arts of Teaching and an undergrad degree in mechanical engineering, who's somebody who went to Howard University, to a historically black college, I can see the reason for it now, when it seemed like, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, "Oh, my mom hates me." You know, you think your parents got it in for you. But they were just giving me the necessary tools so that when I reached into my tool belt, I would have what I would need to do whatever job was necessary for me in life. And that win in the spelling bee in second grade was huge for me.